Oh, Misha, I'm not sure what the specific areas are that you're going to be covering, whether it's, I don't know, whatever the content area is. I mean, I can talk for myself in terms of content-based ethics, because, I mean, I'm just thinking about it for the first time now, but, well, the first thing is don't lie. It's like, and that's not as easy as it sounds, right? Because it's so easy to fall into parroting something that's not true for you, right? So whether or not it's someone else's truth, if it's something you haven't really experienced. So I guess that's where I'm looking at truth, is I won't talk about anything I don't have direct experience of, or at least, first-hand accounts from people who live that life or that world. Secondly, the major thing in terms of content, yeah, you're right that there's nothing new under the sun, and inevitably something you talk about will sound like something someone else talked about at some point. But it's more like if you're going to be directly, like we've had in the past where people have directly stolen IP, students come in and then set up a direct, or taking individual specific drills that I invented and then repackaging them and reselling them. So, that kind of thing you should be aware of. You know what you're doing then, right? You're like taking someone's personal IP of a particular exercise or something and packaging it as your own. So sure, it's fine to say, hey, there's this cool exercise that so-and-so developed, and cite them, and that's fine. But to actually, give credit where credit is due. The other thing is, it's really hard to not be solipsistic, right? To see things through your lens. And this is where I try not to talk in absolute truths when I'm saying this is the way something is. Even if I do, I'll say, then here's an alternative viewpoint, or here's the way that I perceive something. Because I think ethically you really need to be aware of not collecting people who hang on every single word that you say and consider it to be an absolute truth, because then you move into the realm of cult leader guru kind of, or someone who's really manipulating people's worldviews to accept what it is that you think and believe. So that's up to you. Lots of people speak very, very in very essentialist terms, in terms of this is the way it is, or this is the truth. And okay, some people resonate with that, and you'll polarize, and you'll get an audience that way that believes in that particular thing. I guess that's fine, but I think as an open-minded, big-picture thinker who's looking at the complexities of life and all the interrelated webs, that it's really dangerous and dishonest to say that there is only one, that this is the way things are. So yeah, those are my personal ethics when it comes to producing content. It's like I'll speak my opinion, and I'll try to give alternatives and be clear that it is just my viewpoint, and my viewpoint is, it's hard for me to see outside of it. There's survivor bias, there's or a lot of my successes, it's very easy to attribute them to me being awesome, but it is also to do with the fact that I was born in a particular place, in a particular body, with a particular passport, with particular skills, particular networks, and so there is definitely luck and privilege involved as well. So I think it's important to be aware of the different circumstances that people find themselves in, and the different levels of resources and abilities and so on that they have. So yeah, there's some thoughts on ethics. I'm sure there's a whole huge realms of philosophical study on ethics. If you want to dip into it, look into how philosophy looks at ethics in particular. But that's probably more complicated, and also maybe more esoteric, more kind of looking at it as a theoretical framework. But it's like applied ethics is a thing, right? In each industry, there's a code of ethics, and we don't have one in the content. There is no code of ethics, and so it has to be self-applied. So anyway, there's some thoughts.